arrows on my chair, not going round and round. All right. I'm just waiting on my clock to say 5:30, and I will get started momentarily. All right. Good morning. I am Dr. Donna Thomas-Rodgers. Welcome to your what is going on with me this morning? Welcome to your morning mental workout. I guess I needed a little bit more time this morning. I actually was doing a bunch of research that will lead me to a different direction, but here we are today. I teach adults how to hold themselves personally accountable, one new neural pathway at a time. Today is my 452nd day going live. I started on TikTok many days ago. I've been on YouTube since January 19th. And today we are going to be talking about briefly the limbic system, and then we're going to go into a review, which is something I haven't done, but as I thought about how much information we've covered, let's see how much information that you were able to retain. So on your own, inhale and exhale 3 times, just to let the mind know we're getting ready to do this thing for real, for real. Okay. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and answer the poll question. The poll question results will be revealed at the end of the live. Yesterday, we started talking about the hippocampus, and it is located in the limbic system. And so I'm just going to give you a brief overview of the limbic system. Next week, we're going to go into it more. I started out this morning at 3:05 doing my research. I researched the limbic system for over an hour. And what came to me was it's very complicated, and I was attempting to simplify it, and that process resulted in negative results. And so I am going to regroup because it was just a lot of information, and I couldn't make the connection to personal accountability and real leadership. So then you would have just been sitting there bored out of your mind, like, okay, and so what does this have to do with personal accountability? And what does this have to do with personal accountability? And that's a challenge that I face multiple times a week. Take this information about this amazing organ that we have to teach you how to use it so that you can use it to learn how to hold yourself personally accountable. So I'm just going to do an overview of the limbic system. So the limbic system is in the temporal lobe, which is located right here, right above the brainstem, and it sits near the temporals above the ear. So if we're looking at it from here, it's right in this area up here, and it's connected to the brainstem. And so it helps to regulate your emotional processing, your social processing, your learning, your motivation, and your spatial memory. We talked about that. Good morning, Regina. We talked about the spatial memory yesterday with the hippocampus, and it actually has 4. Some research said 4 parts to the limbic system, some said 5. That's the other reason why I want to research it more. It's the hippocampus, the cingulate gyrus, the amygdala, the hypothalamus, and the basal ganglia. So all of those things, good morning, Lola, are located in the limbic system. And as we reviewed yesterday, that's your emotional nervous system. So yesterday we discussed the hippocampus and that are 2 structures on each side of the brain, and they serve as the memory system. And they consolidate information which goes into different parts of the brain and talks to different parts. And remember yesterday I said the research was saying earlier that I'd done research on the hippocampus, and they said that cab drivers in London had larger hippocampuses so that they could remember more, so that's where everything was stored. My current research says that it is in the cerebral cortex, and so that's where everything is stored, which covers a larger portion of the brain. So next, we will be studying the cerebral cortex and then going back to the limbic system, because like I said, that research, this morning, I was like, okay, yeah, this is not going to work. I feel like I'm in med school right now, and yeah, this is not going to translate well. People are going to be like, "What did you say, Dr. Donna?" So next, we're moving tomorrow. We will be discussing the cerebral cortex and its functions, and then go back to the limbic system because at that time, I will be able to draw the conclusion of what makes how it relates to personal accountability. So just to review, the hippocampus, it forms your short-term and long-term memory, your spatial memory, and it helps you navigate your environment, and it's involved in the learning process. Now, thank you. Yes, ma'am. And so, what we're going to do today, now that I have that answer, I was happy, elated that now I know that it is actually stored in the cerebral cortex because, again, finding out that information helps immensely. Because, and one thing about the brain research, which I'm finding as well, is that scientists, neuroscientists will get some information, they'll conduct some experiments, and then someone else will come along and say, yeah, but that part isn't correct because the brain is so complicated. And then they'll say that part isn't correct. So I find myself combing through to get the most up-to-date information. Again, all this is informational purposes only. This is not medical advice. Seek medical advice from your primary care physician. I'm just giving you this information so that you understand more about your brain and how it functions and how it relates to personal accountability. Now, with that being said, I have a couple questions for you, and then we have review questions for everything that we learned this week, just to check. Because in my search for information this morning, it occurred to me that we don't review. And again, we were leaving TikTok, so part of it was okay, now we have to transition to YouTube. How is that going to work? But review the information so I can have a barometer as to what you're retaining and what's not being retained. So I do have a couple questions for you this morning. Yes, we will still be doing a sentence. We will still be doing math, and you see the poll question there that is available for you. So the first question that I have is, how are you using your brain? How are you using your brain? And we see that Gaelish Thockhorn is using their brain differently this morning. So good morning, Gaelish Thockhorn. What brings you to the live this morning? I already have the answer, but let's see if you want to corroborate my thoughts. Everyone else, how are you using your brain? And thank you, Regina. So if you're thinking ... lets me know that you're thinking and you're getting ready to answer the question. And kudos to you, Gaelish, for actually having a photo and what appears to be your real name. For taking shit, do you mean talking shit or taking shit? I think you have a typo in there. The question was, Sean, how are you using your brain? And if you have not done so, go ahead and type in your answer to the poll question. Kevin's answer is to understand behaviors and understanding my reactions. Gaelish, the question on the table for you is, what is your purpose for attending the live today? Why are you here? And then also you can follow up with, is that taking shit or talking shit? And what did you learn yesterday, Sean? So Gaelish, why are you here this morning? Why are you here? Why are you here this morning? I'm not going to answer your question, Gaelish. I have no idea who you are. I don't know what your credentials are. And so if we're matching credentials for credentials, who are you? So then I can know who I'm speaking to. So who are you and why are you here? Everyone else continue to answer your question. Gaelish is about to get a ticket to the block party. We know why Gaelish is here. Gaelish doesn't understand why he, them, they, zer, zar, zer, zer is here. So Gaelish is looking for a fight. Put him up, put him up, put him up. Do. Zayden, how did you use your brain yesterday? How are you using your brain? Everyone else, how are you using your brain? Lola, if you are working this morning, just let me know. And Nola, I see your information as well. Okay, I use my brain for remembering stats and information on sports, also remembering manuals and skills for mounting and furniture assembly. Got it. Gaelish, let me understand this. So you woke up this morning and decided to visit my live, and then you decided to say the things that you are saying. What is your purpose again this morning? What is your objective? You've decided to come to this live where we are talking about the brain, and you are deciding to say things to me. So what is taking place for you that you've made these choices today? What's going on for you that you're making these choices? I don't know you. You're not following me. So what is your objective this morning? Let's get it done. Let's get it over with so you can move on. Why are you here this morning? And are you taking shit or talking shit? What is your purpose? Do you need some attention? Were you not hugged enough as a child? Are you not having a good life right now? Why are you here this morning? Let's get to the real answer as to why you're here. Stop making this about me. What's taking place in your life that you are demonstrating this behavior? What's going on with you? Why are you here? Anyone else, why are you using your brain? We see why Gaelish is attempting to use their brain, but they are hijacking the amygdala right now and looking for a fight this morning. You are looking to cause problems this morning. And the question is why? Why are you behaving like this? For what? And I'm a betting woman, so I bet your next thing is going to be that you're going to say something else about me and attack my character at this point, if I'm doubling down. Terry, what brings you here this morning? Terry, what brings you here this morning? Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, what we have again, because my lives are popular, is we have Terry and Gaelish who have decided, because of what's taking place in their life, that this is the best use of their brain this morning. This is the best idea that they both could come up with. Waking up and coming to someone's live and insulting them. That's what they're using their brain for. This amazing resource that we have, and this is what's here. Okay. And we have a third person that has entered the chat. So we have a third person that's entered the chat, and this is what they're attempting to do. All three of them will have tickets to the block party, but as you can see, some people are experiencing a frontal lobotomy. So Terry only knows how to speak about my hair. So Terry is of a low intelligence because the only thing that Terry can do is talk about my wig. So clearly, Terry, you need to go back. Now, I used to do stand-up comedy. I could use this as a moment to drag all three of you all over the world, but that's not what I'm going to do this morning. I'm getting ready to block all three of you because, again, you are the lesson. And if my live was not popular, none of the three of you would be here. Okay? So I'm just going to tell you this before you go. I'm going to tell you this before you go. You were unsuccessful. All three of you. I don't have an elevated heart rate. Nothing has changed. My vocal variety hasn't changed. Nothing has changed. Okay. Got it. So are all of you finished yet? So Gaelish, you've already used that one. Are you blind or what? That's your second time saying that. Terry can only talk about the wig. So again, ladies and gentlemen, if you allow them to let it play out, what you will see is that they have 3 to 5 things that they say because they are scripted, because their working memory is not working. And now Gaelish is getting upset and has resorted to using profanity. It has been delayed. That's what Nola said as well. I'm sorry about, well, I can't be sorry about that, Regina. I don't know what's taking place. So here's what's taking place. We have, so see, everybody is attempting to try to throw me off my square by literally insulting me. And it's not working. In a minute, they're going to get extremely frustrated. So Terry is quadrupling down on the hair. Mountain bike addict. They really, are you guys friends? Are y'all sitting in the same place? Okay, so enough of this nonsense. You all are getting ready to go. Let me make sure I get you Gaelish first because you're the number one. You're patient 0. Got it. Okay, mountain bike, go ride your bike. Terry, get some new material. Go to open mic nights. Zay, you're gone too. Okay. Now, Regina. Okay. And my SpongeBob, let's make sure you get out of here too. All right. So again, Regina, let me know if you can type your message in or not. Okay. I have learned that I recognize moments when I need to be personally accountable. However, I realize that sometimes I have brain freeze and don't handle the situation in the moment. All right. So what happens again, now you know that your amygdala is being hijacked, Regina. So that's that fight, flight, freeze, or appease response that's actually taking place. And the more you continue to take risk, the amounts of decrease that the amount of fear will decrease over time. Okay, my next question is, what has changed for you since attending the lives? What has changed for you since you've been attending the lives? And while you're answering that question, for some of you who are visiting, Dr. Donna, why would you allow people to be on your lives and acting like that and performing like that? Because what happens is if you block them immediately, you don't have the strength to deal with, what are they called? I was about to call them hackers. Trolls. So the more people at one point there were 4 people attempting to throw me off my square simultaneously. So it's almost like a amygdala hijacking workout. How much can you actually take in at the same time? So I'm actually strengthening my ability for people's or their inability to hijack my amygdala simultaneously. So it's actually a mental workout for me to be able to read what they're saying, respond, and then still even assess, oh, this one person just keeps talking about my hair. This one person just has 3 things to say. This person really doesn't know what to say at all. And then I'm just giving them time to run out. And then I'll give them a little bit of what you call free information when you're having a conversation with somebody to see if they're going to take that free information in. One person used the stand-up comedy. I'm like, I'm going to feed you some more information. Let's see if you take that in. So I'm still 100% in total control of what everything that's taking place. So basically, I'm fucking with them. If we want to look at it from that perspective, Yes. Okay, Lola, I'm trying to use my brain to navigate the rest of my life. And with that being accountable, yes, I'm at work for half a day. Okay, great. So, what has changed for you since attending the lives is the question on the table. So, if any point for the visitors, if you say, well, why won't she just block them? Can you block your family members? Can you just stop and block your family members? Because it seems that simple online, but what are you doing in person when someone is actually hijacking your amygdala? When someone is attempting to throw you off your square, are you fighting, freezing, appeasing, or leaving? Or are you just sitting there going, what am I going to do? What's happening? So I'm demonstrating once again how you handle unaccountable people and how you stand on personal accountability regardless of what they're doing. All right, Nola, you said I've started becoming better at holding others personally accountable since attending the lives. And Kevin, you said my brain wakes up early and my reliability to others. Okay, great. And the final question is, have you shared your learnings with others? So since you've been attending the lives, have you shared this information with other people? So are you talking about Dr. Donna? Or are you treating me like a jump off? Am I a side piece, a booty call? What's happening with personal accountability? Would you say, hey, this is Dr. Donna. She's teaching me how to be personally accountable. You'd be like, I don't know her. Who is that? See me in public and you be like, running in the other direction. Are you sharing your personal accountability information with others? Have you reached that point in your personal accountability? Doom, doom. And one thing while you're typing, the one thing that I will say about unaccountable people too, that's awesome, Regina, is unaccountable people always go for the aesthetics. They always go for the things that they can see or your credentials to tell you you haven't accomplished what you've accomplished. Look at your hair, you're fat, you're ugly, your skin, those type of things. So if you understand how unaccountable people move, you can move differently. That's why my favorite book of all times is The Art of War. Attack by stratagems. When you want to appear, when you are strong, appear to be weak. When you're weak, appear to be strong. You can attack by water, you can attack by fire, and you can use the terrain to do all different types of things. So one asked me every evening, did you do your class this morning? And we discussed something that I learned. That's amazing. That's awesome, Regina. Oh my God. People are tired of me talking about they stroll in your page to see if you're real. Are you serious, Kevin? Ain't no damn way. Ain't no damn way. Oh my goodness. That's awesome. That is awesome. That's share your Dr. Donna. I used to say that quite often. Okay. Yes. She is real. Yes, she is. The only thing fake is her synthetic hair. Everything else, 1973, all original parts. Yep. Her is real. Okay. So, would you like, and we're going to take a vote, would you like door number 1 or door number 2 right now? So, how we proceed? You're going to get both doors, but which one would you like first? Door number 1 or door number 2? I really appreciate having this discussion. His question is about the pineal gland and emotions. His question was about it. 2. All right, so we have Kevin wants door number 1 and door number 2. I don't think I understand your question, Regina. So door number 1, ladies and gentlemen, or door number 2 to start. You'll get both, but which one do you want to go first? All right, 2. Okay. Is anyone else voting before we get started? Do do do. Door number 1 or door number 2? Driscoll says door number 2. Nola says door number 1. Currently door number 2. 2, 2. Can I get a 2? Can I get a 1? 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2. Okay, so the rest are looky-loos. All right, so we're going to go with door number 2. So door number 2 is the review. Is the pineal gland storing emotions in the brain versus the amygdala? I do not have that answer for you. I will look, but my research, I will look to see where that is, because in the limbic system, and I had this information earlier, let me go back to it. So in the limbic system, you actually have the hippocampus, the cingulate gyrus, the amygdala, the hypothalamus, and the basal ganglia. My research does not say that that is where it is, but I will answer your question. I'll get the answer and give it to you tomorrow, because current research doesn't have that being part of the limbic system, which is where it is with all the emotions and everything. Doesn't mean it isn't true. It's just not in the research that I have currently. So I will check with you and get back with you tomorrow. Emotions, or is it in the amygdala? Yes, ma'am. And I can send you the answer today, but I will tell everybody else tomorrow. All right, so door number 2, ladies and gentlemen, is the review. Pop quiz, pop quiz. Ding, 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 ding. So here we are. And Regina, you're talking about the amygdala. So what is the shape of the amygdala? What is the shape of the amygdala? So you're going to be using your hippocampus to some of this time. It'll be your cognitive thought as well. It's shaped like an almond. Is it shaped like an almond? I don't have any almonds on my desk. I ate them all. They're down. The rest are downstairs. That is correctamundo. It is shaped like an almond. All right. Next question. What's one of the functions of the amygdala? Name one. One of the functions of the amygdala. One of the functions of the amygdala. Or what is it responsible for? Like, what areas does it cover? Letting you know about danger. Insight. Source for helping with parenting and caregiving. I knew you were going to say that answer, Regina, when I made the question this morning. That's the one that stuck out the most with you. Emotional. Emotions. Tracy, is that your answer or is that a question? I said, what's one of them? Absolutely, yes. So Tracy, is that a question or answer? Because now I'm confused. That's your answer. Okay, got it. Kevin, are you there? I don't want to steal your thunder. Okay. People are having trouble technically, so I'm going to go ahead. Oh, you answered first? Did you? Oh, emotions. I apologize, Kevin. It was caught up in there. Okay, I apologize. Okay, so it deals with fight or flight, obviously, to keep you safe. Aggression. It also through learning through rewards and punishment. And most of the time it's through punishment as opposed to reward. So if you're punished for something, it learns, oh my goodness, I can't do that or I'm going to get in trouble. It's also feelings related, as Regina mentioned, caregiving and parenting. And the one that we talked about briefly is that it is learned behaviors related to addiction. So who knew that your addiction is attached to your amygdala? All right. Then, and this is we're reviewing from last week, the entire week. And basically, the next thing that we talked about was negativity bias. So what is negativity bias? We talked about it for 3 days. Come on, brain. Think of things. Your brain stores the negative of any situation, makes it more prevalent than the positive. Thinking negative more than positive. Okay. Mm-mm. 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 So I think I'm gonna have a new song for the trolls when they come. I'm gonna say there's some trolls in the house. There's some trolls in the house. No, I'm not. I just thought about that while I was waiting on y'all to answer. Well, I didn't hear you talk about it. What about chunks missing because of negativity? Okay, haha. All right, just seeing if Regina's response is going to happen. So again, before you answer the question, there we go. Just put the ... so that I know who's available to answer the question. Focus on negative things more, even though there may be many things which are positive. Exactly. So yes, that is correct. You're going to register the negative events. You're going to hold on to those negative events longer, and you're going to remember the negative events before the positive events. No matter how many, you can have 50 positive things happen and one negative thing happen, and you're going to fixate on that one negative thing, and it could take you all the way into the end of your day and all the way through life. So the negativity bias is, I'm gonna take, if I gotta choose negative over positive, I'm gonna always choose the negative first. Now, how does how did we get to negativity bias? I skipped the question. Okay, how did we get there? Why is negativity bias the strongest bias? Why is the brain hardwired to go negative first? What led us to today, January 31st, 2025? Who is the inventors of the negativity bias? And remember ... before you answer, because I can't see your faces. Yes, we are still in door number 2, Kevin. Door number 1 is going back to your math and all of that. So yes, we are still in door number 2. Who picked door number 2 first? So door number 1, we would have finished out the lesson as we normally do, with your sentence and your math and the poll question. That's what's in door number 1. Have I hijacked your amygdala? I said somebody hijacked my amygdala. So how do we get here? Based on mankind needing to survive in harsh environments, when there were saber-toothed tigers, genes passed down. Okay. Regina to the rescue. Y'all got a lifeline. I'd like to call my lifeline. Can we do 50% to get the answers? I wonder why we say saber-toothed tigers. We'll never say Tyrannosaurus Rex or any of those other animals. These are strong genes. They are. Yes, they are. They take it over. One neural pathway at a time. No neuron at a time. They taking over. All right. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to add to what Regina said? Or is everybody saying she got it? That was going to be my answer. She just typed it in first. Her fingers are faster than mine. Okay. If your answers pop up, that's good. But yes, that is what happened. And so the fight or flight that we use, survival instincts, the strongest survive. Yes, they passed it down. This is how you survive. This is how you survive. And so now adults just go around seeking comfort, and they stay in their comfort zone, and everything is a saber-toothed tiger. But there is this thing called a false positive. And so what has to happen is, you don't know, the brain doesn't know, oh, this isn't real. So it starts sweating and panicking. It's like safety, safety, safety. And that's not the case. So you have to ask yourself, is there a saber-toothed tiger coming after me? Or is this a false positive and I just need to embrace change? I need to just make different decisions. So that's how we got here. And it is still prevalent to everybody, to use Nola's word that she just used earlier, to everybody. Everybody is impacted by negativity bias. So how does negativity bias impact your relationships? Type ... if you're thinking. And y'all didn't know it was going to be a pop quiz, but that's the whole point. You go to class, next thing you know, the teacher gave you a pop quiz. And it's Tuesday. Like, wait a minute, pop quizzes are on Thursday to get us ready for the test on Friday. So how does negativity bias affect your relationships? Now, one lesson that you can extrapolate from this is to keep your same brain notebook with you so that you can refer, because it's an open book test, basically, open book pop quiz. You may refer to your notes. Okay. Nola, you can be doing a bunch of fear mongering. Got it. It makes you go against the norm, which causes drama. Okay. So someone in Regina type ... Just waiting on your responses. And so again, if you plan on answering a question, type ... Otherwise, I will move on. That doesn't mean don't type ... So I will move on. That's not going to work either. I find that I really don't want toxic, negative people in my environments. Okay. Someone, are you going to answer? So they also impact your relationships because if someone has done something negative in the past, you're going to automatically assume that they're going to be negative. So if you have that one family member that's always causing problems, automatically you're like, here they go again. In your own relationships, as soon as someone does something that used to cause you an argument, if you have a spouse that cheated on you, as soon as they do one thing that reminds you of that time, you can be like, you cheating on me again. So yeah. Yes. And so that's what happens with that. The next one is, how does negativity bias affect your decision making? For so long you were. Okay. Avoid it. I can make really poor impulsive decisions that I later regret. And that's also inhibition control too, Regina, located in the executive function of your brain. So when you can control it, then you don't do or say things that you will regret. But if you haven't done that, then it's going to impact your decision making. So again, remember that these things are interconnected as well. No, if you are looking at the negative in the things, you can make decisions from negative places. Yes. And so, and I refer back to my notes as well. So what happens is you think about the weight of a negative consequence more. So you will not make a decision based upon the negative consequences, even though the positive results will take you out of a situation. So if you need to leave a toxic relationship, you will stay in that toxic relationship because it's negative, even though leaving will create a more positive outcome. So because of the bias, that you will literally stay in that situation, and you have a tendency to just keep making negative decisions because of the negative bias, and now you're just staying. It's a vicious cycle that keeps repeating itself again and again. Right. Okay. Yeah. All right, so does that make sense? So now you're using the negative information, and negative information has a stronger impact on your decision making process, and then you don't want to do it because it's like, I'm gonna just, all this negative information is true. Okay. The next question is, and then how does it affect your perceptions of people? How does it affect your perception of people? And again, dot, 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 so we know. You don't like people that are negative all the time. Uh-huh. I saw your previous answer, Kevin. And what we actually discussed in class too was that you end up believing the negative things about people first before the positive things. So if somebody says, yeah, well, when they was 12, they stole a pack of now and laters from the store. So they might be giving $1 million away today, but what about that 25 cents that they owe to that corner store on Linwood? So then it's better because you're feeding the bias. You're giving the amygdala what it wants. The negativity is happening. And so you just keep listening to the negative. And you only want to hear, and then it can only process so much good about a person that's doing well. Negative people don't want to keep hearing positive things about people. They will look for something to be wrong. I may decide not to deal with this person unless absolutely necessary. Also, I will be cautious around persons, and then be on alert with them moving forward, which then goes back to your relationships. This person is negative, this person is a problem, and so now you're automatically on alert, potentially in the amygdala instead of in the frontal lobe. So that takes place. Okay, so in summary, the hippocampus is for your short-term and long-term memories. It's shaped like a seahorse, and it's part of the limbic system, and it uses your five senses. And the function of it is for your declarative, which means all your factually based memories, because we just went over this yesterday. It transfers information from your short-term to your long-term memories, and then it also does spatial navigation, so where things are placed in your house, in your life, so it allows you to understand where things are. All right, and then like I said, on the back of this page, Regina, I will get that answer to you. And now we're going to go back to where we were in door number 1. So we closed door number 2, and it's time to open up door number 1. So what you're going to do now is we're using words and sentences this week. So use the word brain in a sentence, and you as the subject. Use the word brain in a sentence with you as the subject. Kevin's sentence is, I've never been taught to use my brain. And none of us have. None of us have. And I went to school for 23 damn years. We ain't got no brain class available. We did have 8 semesters of English though in high school. And I used that every day. I use Great Expectations and Great Gatsby and all that every day. Every day. Yes, you are an amazing organ. Do. And then if you can get your writing utensil out and paper, because we got math, we're doing order of operations, and I believe that you will love me immensely after this order of operations. That is my sinister laugh. No, you will not. At all. Oh no. Oh yes. It's not that bad. It's just addition and division and some parentheses. That's all it is. It's just addition and division and some parentheses and some parentheses and some parentheses. Okay. My brain has gained more knowledge in the last 4 years. All right. So math problem is coming. Math problem is coming. I will say it twice. You will have 1 minute to solve the problem. Okay? So listen very carefully. Open parenthesis. 4 plus 20 divided by 4. Close parenthesis. Plus 60 divided by 10 plus 10. Open parenthesis. 4 plus 20 divided by 4. Close that parenthesis. Plus 60 divided by 10 plus 10. Tell me now if you don't have it. Tell me now. Okay, 1 minute on the clock. Start it now. Thirty seconds has passed. $45 has passed. And 1 minute. Okay. So the question was, open parenthesis, 4 plus 20 divided by 4, closed parenthesis, plus 60 divided by 10 plus 10. How this worked is you do the, so 20 divided by 4 is where you start because the parenthesis goes first, and then division. So that number is 5. So then you have 4 plus 5 in parenthesis, and now you have that number is 9. You finished, you closed out the parenthesis. Next, you're going to go to the 60 divided by 10 because that's the next order of operation. So 60 divided by 10 is 6. And then you do the addition. So then you would have 9 plus 6 plus 10 gets you 15 plus 10 equals 25. I'll say that again. 20 divided by 4 is the first thing that you do because it's in the parentheses, and now you go order of operation. Division is higher than addition. 4 plus 5, well, 20 times 4 is 20 divided by 4 is 5. 4 plus 5 is 9. Done with that. Next is 60 divided by 10 is 6. 9 plus 6 plus 10, you get 15 plus 10 equals 25. So I told you you all would love me with that situation there. Okay. One thing I'd like to say before I move on. So I did an experiment while you all were typing, and Dylan typed the question twice. Can you hypothesize me? And I purposely ignored Dylan to see what Dylan was going to do. So Dylan averaged almost 3 minutes on my live, or 2.5. He was there for 47 to 49.22 seconds. And because I ignored Dylan, Dylan then retracted Dylan's statement, and now Dylan has also received a ticket to the block party. So now I'm just understanding trollness and the life of trolldom and what it actually is to see how they actually behave, and will they become personally accountable if they are ignored, or will they double down? Is it based upon an individual's decision to stay or leave if they're seeking attention? Because it's like, oh, she's paying attention to me, so I'm going to keep it going because I got her attention. And will they leave? Some leave if you ignore them, some don't. But I just wanted to see how long Dylan would sit there in his system without being acknowledged, and he could not take the being ignored, and so he lasted 2 minutes and 22 seconds. So the benefit of having unaccountable people in the lives is that I get to have this other research in real time of what's actually taking place for them. So now I'm going to do the results of the poll question. So we're going to end the poll, and you can explain your answer. The poll question today was, did you learn something yesterday? How y'all got that wrong? Yeah. How did y'all get that wrong? You got to review it, Regina. You definitely got to go on Khan Academy. So your answer, did you learn something new yesterday? And I did learn something new yesterday. I actually briefly used the electric screwdriver to screw one screw in a 7-foot by 3-foot TV stand with a fireplace in it. I do not like the way it feels in my hand. I'm a touch person, and so I'm old school. I had a very nice DeWalt screwdriver that after 4 years is not working, and so my daughter has presented me with a growth opportunity to use the electric screwdriver now. So it's her business, so she's not replacing my screwdriver. So now I have to use the electric screwdriver, and I don't want to. And I will have to use it at the second appointment because the first appointment today is simply a garage organization. So Thomas-Rodgers, the 60 to 10 is how I messed up everything up. I reworked before you said it and got the correct answer. Yes, you learned Greece has islands from a client. Yes, so we had a client that married someone and had moved to Greece, and then during COVID and got divorced and came back to the States. So what else did you learn? And remember ... to let me know that you are answering the question, because again, I can't see you. And there is a if you're doing the personal accountability challenge, there is one of the PAs for the day that's putting up with it. And stop putting up with shit. I learned that laying in bed while on your live is lazy. And be careful, Kevin, because if you lay in the bed and listen to me, you will be asleep. There are many of folk that fell asleep, and I done got a message afterwards like, sorry I wasn't answering the questions, Dr. Donna, but I fell asleep. I fell asleep. So don't do that. Sit up, get out the bed, sit in the chair. I learned yesterday that the amygdala and the hippocampus communicate with each other and are emotional centers of the brain. Yes, and that whole limbic system is working together. Like I said, I will come back to the limbic system, but after an hour, I was like, so I say all this, and how am I going to tie it to personal accountability? Because it is informative, but it has to be actionable as well, which is why I then was guided to just give you an overview and then find out what you are retaining. The trolls keep you awake. And so here's what I will say about the trolls, ladies and gentlemen. Every morning that I wake up, I have to make a decision on how I'm going to handle trolls. And I've said this before. And how long I'm going to let it go. I'm guided by a higher power that says, let this go, don't let this go. And so there have been 4 more people who've gotten blocked without me addressing anything that they're saying. Here's the thing. You have to hold the people in your circle personally accountable. And I've said this. Billionaires have to hold billionaires accountable. Millionaires have to hold millionaires accountable. Men have to hold men accountable. Women have to hold women accountable. Trans people have to hold trans people accountable. So the people in your community, it's your responsibility to hold them accountable. Because as we saw yesterday, we had trolls coming from India. Someone else said, everybody doesn't live in America. And so trolls are everywhere in the world. Now, whose fault is that? The social media apps, instead of dealing with trolls, come through sometimes and scrub, but they said, well, we can't handle trolls, so we're just going to give you a block button. We're going to make you deal with the trolls instead of, because you could trace the IP address and make it so they can never be on any other social media platform again. But trolls are rewarded. I even saw a newscast where it's an older gentleman, European American, on purpose doing the trolls and trolling. He was saying, yeah, this is the reason why I do it. And then it draws traffic to my stuff. And it's a very antiquated way of dealing with people. It sincerely is. And so the reason why the trolls exist is because the people in their retinue, the people in their small council make it okay. They make it okay. So when you are dismissive of the people in your community and the things that they do because of cognitive bias, we represent gang. We all in the same gang. We do what we do. You're complicit. And by I'm talking about everybody that's going to watch this live later. The problem is y'all. Trolls are here. Negative things are happening. Negativity bias is here. It's because you're not holding the people in your family accountable. Now you'll say, Dr. Donna, but you don't talk to your family anymore. And that's holding them accountable. Fuck them. I'm not sitting over there letting them talk shit about people that's not there and go against their best interests healthily. Because now if you sit there and let it happen, you're co-signing, you're complicit. Walking away is me saying you're unaccountable. This is not a cultural fit. And I am not going to be a part of your nonsense. And they feel it. They feel it. My daughter will go on Facebook and see something and be like, look at them. They feel the impact of you not there because you are the only positive, accountable thing happening. And now, as my t-shirt says, let that shit fall apart. If people don't want to be personally accountable, then they don't get to have access to you. That's draw a motherfucking line in the sand. This is it. Do not come over here with that nonsense and that bullshit. Because isolation causes people to have to reflect and say, damn. And now you got to look at yourself. If you're surrounded by nothing but negative people, guess what you're going to start doing? You're going to stop and reflect and say, I don't want to do this because you've been exposed to somebody who's been personally accountable. So you're either going to stay over there and stay in that toxic situation, but people coming back and forth. Trolls don't troll other trolls. Losers don't want to be around other losers. That's why they keep coming over here. That's why they keep coming over here. So as we're speaking about trolls right now, a drifter, what is your purpose here today? Are you friend or foe? Just so I'll know how to proceed. Or are you saying trolls come over here to stop trolling? Because that sentence is incomplete. I asked you, why are you here? No, you've been more than scrolling. While you're being unaccountable, you already been here. So you started with, let me see where you are. I believe your first question was, are you red, black? That was your first question. And so you've been here based upon time for about 17 minutes. You're not just scrolling at this point. You've pulled up a chair. That's what you've done. Scrolling is this, a minute or less. You have been here for almost a quarter of the live. So no, you're not just scrolling. I have a phenomenal working memory, and I can take in a bunch of declarative information simultaneously. So while I am talking and responding, I'm also paying attention to the people that are on the live. Before you are escorted out of this channel, do you have anything else that you'd like to say? So the benefits of having the live is that you get to have receipts as well. And so while people are very good, unaccountable people are extremely good at lying and misdirecting, smoke screens and mirrors, because everybody, the majority of the adult population, is walking around in a hijacked amygdala state. They're all in their feelings and emotions. When you stay in your frontal lobe, you are doing things that they are unaware of. Now, Drifter didn't know that he was part of the experiment with Dylan, because I wanted to see what Drifter was going to do. I didn't mention Drifter because Drifter had only done one thing. But then Drifter said, oh, this is my opportunity to now double down. And I'm going to stick around and see how I can be disruptive. And it to no avail. So what people are not banking on, which is the benefit of you learning how to use your brain, Kevin, as you mentioned, people haven't taught us how to do it. And Tracy, I'll be back to you in a moment, is that unaccountable people are using the biases to interact with you. And I said this yesterday. They are using the biases to interact with you. They don't know that the biases exist. And as a result, you get to use them to your advantage. That's one of the art of war principles. Appear to be, when you are strong, appear to be weak. So I look like a middle-aged African-American woman, and I probably look like a normal educator. No one knows that I have been trained to eliminate threats. So I'm from the hood, and I was a stand-up comic, so I could go ham, I could go and do other things. I can intellectualize and go ghetto lecture on you. They have no idea what's in my troll tool belt to get you out of my existence. And that is the benefit of learning how to use your brain, because now you are at an advantage. So as I said before, all of this unaccountable piffleness that's taking place is because of adults' inability to hold their peer group personally accountable. So every time you allow someone in your area, in your community, to not be held personally accountable, you are complicit, and that's how we have trolls. That's how we have people breaking laws. That's how we have people hitting licks. That's how we have people assaulting people. That's how we have people treating people less than with dignity and respect, because you are letting it go, because you don't want to deal with the conflict. You don't want to have a confrontation with someone, so you just want to acquiesce, appease, and leave, and that is unacceptable. It's 100% unacceptable. I think it's interesting that when trolls come, I'm told to do something about it. Okay, cool. What are you doing about the trolls and all the unaccountable people in your community? because it's easy to sit back and eat your popcorn and tell me what I need to do. What are you doing about it? What are you doing on a daily basis to hold people personally accountable? Tracy, your answer was, what I learned yesterday is this is so interesting and I want to hear more. Okay, great. That's awesome. So there were 3 experiments, had 4 people at the same time trying to troll me. I then had Dylan, who got ignored, then had Drifter, who decided to stick around for 17 minutes and then got caught in a lie. And then there were 4 other people who just got removed. So I showed you 4 different ways to handle unaccountable people. And I did it all on purpose while still giving you the information that you need and still maintaining my composure the entire time. I don't even think I've cursed on this live this morning. If I have, it's been minuscule. It's been minuscule. And what you will see is that, and the sad part about the trolls on this live is because I clicked the button, not made for children. I do that on purpose. So these are grown people. It's not like on Instagram where the people are, I think, 13 and above, because I haven't found the button to click yet. These are actually adults behaving like this online in the morning across the world. So that's why I keep saying it's 6.8 billion adults being personally unaccountable in the world. And it's because their brain isn't wired to personal accountability. So when you first start coming to my lives and I said, it's neurological and you have to learn how to use your brain and wire it to personal accountability, you can now see you actually do. You actually have to learn how to be personally accountable. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting in the limbic system most of the majority of your day, kind of accessing your frontal lobe every now and then, but not really improving your situation. The principles of real leadership work. If you have not reviewed them on my website, go to my website, theturnarounddoctor.com. Go to the drop-down menu. It's the second item on the drop-down menu. Go review them. I also encourage you to go and review the theory of personal accountability, how I developed it, where it came from, and why it's so relevant today. Because we are at a point in our lives where there has not been a change in human behavior. Negativity bias demonstrates that, and we got to do something different. We have smart technology and dumb people. So all these things, technology has improved, and we as human beings have not improved since the beginning of times. We're still doing the same dumb shit we were doing way back from thousands of years ago when there were Tyrannosaurus Rex and saber-toothed tigers and actual imminent danger. Now we don't have any of that, but we're still acting and behaving in the same manner, even though we have all of these advances in the world, cars and electricity, water, plumbing, all of these things. And none of it is being utilized correctly because of our brain. As I mentioned before, and I will say this and then I will close, is the research is for damaged brains. The research is for mental illness. The research is for children, and it's also for old people. To my knowledge, and I've even joined groups on LinkedIn. Currently, as I'm 100 and something days into this, people are not studying how to use the brain and then teaching it, because that's what we need. How do we use this? Where is the owner's manual? And I know I'm creating it day in and day out, but this is how we change everything. So if you find yourself having intellectual conversations or political conversations or religious conversations or any of these other conversations, stop and start having conversations about the brain. Start. Because all of the decision making is coming from a negative place. And I haven't used this statistic in a while. You're having 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts a day. 90% of those thoughts are about yesterday. And 80% of those thoughts are negative. And I would venture to say that number is higher now because of the amount of people in the world. So I'm going to say that again. 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts a day, 90,000 of them are from yesterday, and 90% of them are from yesterday, and 80% of those are negative. How can we improve as a society? How? If everything that we're getting is negative, and then we're reacting from an amygdala, nervous system, limbic system, emotional state. We all got to take a trip to the frontal lobe on a daily basis and sit there in the frontal lobe if we are going to solve it. Because whether you are a religious person, choose to be a faith-based person or not, what does that have to do with a hijacked amygdala? Who you love has nothing to do with a hijacked amygdala. The price of eggs has nothing to do with the hijacked amygdala. All of these things are happening because of a lack of personal accountability for the people in the communities in which you reside. Broke people ain't going to be able to tell billionaires what to do. Billionaires have to tell billionaires what to do. Generals in the Army listen to other generals in the Army. They don't listen to the private first class unless they're giving them a situation report. Board of schools listen to other board members. They don't listen to the people. My daughter and I petitioned one before. They don't. Women listen to women. Men listen to men. LGBTQ people listen to LGBTQ people. So until all of the groups come together and say, we gonna be personally accountable, we gonna follow the 74 principles of real leadership, because that's what makes us better human beings, nothing is going to change. So change the trajectory of the conversations that you're having. Someone yesterday said they wanted to start a business. I said, don't start a business. Hold yourself personally accountable, because that business is going to fail. At some point, you're going to fail in the supply chain. You're going to fail your customers, or you're going to fail your employees, because you're not going to be personally accountable to be the best. And that's what real leadership is about, being the best case scenario every single day, every single day. So stop having these non-value added amygdala conversations. And I monitored my daughter yesterday, and what we came to was everything she was delivering was in a stat format, but it was the feelings underneath it. And yes, she has ADHD, but we still had to start addressing, how do you feel about what you're about to say? And so what I told her, stay in the amygdala and say, I feel excited, I feel angry. And now come back to the executive function. So what am I feeling and why am I feeling? You are right here. Okay? And then what am I going to do about how I feel? You switch and you come back to the frontal lobe so you can do something about it. Everybody is trying. That statistic is scary. It is. So everybody is trying to solve their problems here in the emotional system. And if you think about it, that's what's actually taking place. It's right here. And you need to come over here. They're not even the same color. They're not the same color. So you got to get back to the frontal lobe. That's where you need to be. Yes, you can feel. You can 100% feel. I'm not telling you not to feel. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is get out of the temporal lobe and come to the frontal lobe. I feel this way, and now I'm going to go over here and do something about it. I feel this way. Now let me come over here, because remember, the hippocampus and everything is sending messages to here in these other places for you to do something. That's how it was designed. That's what you need to be doing. Feel and then do something. Logical, not illogical. But what's happening? Hijacked amygdala, everybody's fight or flight, freeze or peace, and that's what we're experiencing every day as human beings. That's what's taking place. And so that's why I'm saying, stop having political conversations, because the politicians aren't being personally accountable. The world leaders aren't being personally accountable. The pastors of churches aren't being personally accountable. Parents, teachers, nobody is being personally accountable. So how are you going to ask people to do something logical when their amygdala is just as hijacked as yours? Because of a position? If they were personally accountable, you wouldn't be having these conversations. No one leaves my live, and if you have to go ahead. I just want this on record on YouTube. No one leaves my live saying, well, that was a whole complete waste of damn time. There she go again with her confused ass. I didn't know what the fuck she was talking about. That doesn't occur. It doesn't occur. And it isn't occurring for the people who are applying and using the things that I'm actually telling you to do. So stop. Please stop. Do everybody a solid and stop. Hey, did you see? But then they said, and then, well, here's what I think. I think unaccountable people are going to do unaccountable shit the majority of the time. That's what I think. In fact, I know that that's what's going to take place. So instead of having the conversations about more unaccountable people doing more unaccountable shit, start talking about personal accountability. As I stay more in my frontal lobe daily, I'm calmer, more secure and confident as I interact with people. It has been a feeling of growth. Thank you, Regina. I was just about to say that for my daughter, because she's in a self-care challenge. I literally was just about to say that about my daughter. So that's what happens, and that's what we noticed yesterday. When she was in her amygdala, everything was like this. And then as soon as she came back to the frontal lobe, it was calm. So that's why people want to come to my lives, because I got this oxytocin on lock. That's what's happening. And then now for the rest of the day, you got this amygdala thing. You're like, man, I just want to calm down. Why we just can't learn? She's entertaining. She's funny. It's educational. Mojutainment is what I used to call it back in the day. And now the other thing is it's applicable. So you can take everything I said, if you choose to, and go implement it. Everybody, it was designed. Personal accountability resides here. Personal unaccountability resides here. And when you understand that, don't listen to nobody in this. Unless there is a saber-toothed tiger, fire, or imminent danger, you see it, that's the only time, because they're making decisions. This is where poor decision making takes place. This is where all this irrational shit happens. And then over here. So we were never meant to have all day long. And we have to get out of it. We have to get out of it. 5 curse words in the last 1 minute. You're doing good. And they were all on purpose. They were all on purpose. So I cannot stress this enough, ladies and gentlemen. Until, as Rodney King said, can we all get along? Can we all get in our frontal lobe? Can we all get in our frontal lobe? Because I tell you, my relationship with my daughter improved when she started practicing personal accountability and becoming a real leader. Prior to that, we weren't speaking the same language. We were not. And so I speak the language of personal accountability in the 74 principles of real leadership. And I suggest that you do the same, because this shit right here ain't working. Okay, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands, and some would even say billions of years we've been here. So get your passport and see right here. Let's call this the DMZ. This is the wall. And we're just gonna come on up into here and start building a life here and see what happens. Let's just bring people. Remember, I'm out west. I'm in Las Vegas, in America. And so people had to go out west and see what they could see to come this way. So I'm saying, come with me to the land of real leaders up here in the frontal lobe and see what happens. So don't engage. Do not engage with anybody talking about anything that makes you feel a heightened sensitive. Just say, and you use your inhibition control to remove yourself from those situations. Oh, y'all talking about that? I'm good. And cognitive flexibility. Those two things. Oh, okay, cool. I'm out. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go. And remember, if you can't lead, and leave. It's cold and flu and COVID season right now. Nobody's going to make you stay in a conversation with you coughing. Oh, you got to go? Go. Yeah, I got to go. Okay. No water. I got to go. And just leave. If you're sitting in an unaccountable situation, that's how you get yourself out of there. Coughing, or as a woman, perimenopausal, I'm having a hot flash. I got to go outside. I wear a tank top all the time. As soon as you start taking shirts off, people are like, oh, are you okay? You need some water here? You just want to change the information that they see. So that's me in a nutshell. What did you learn today so we can get out of here? I understand if you have to go, I'm okay with that. But this needed to be said. I needed to have it recorded. I needed it to be a highlight for future use. I sent Kevin a video the other day. Yes, the coughing works. Practice your coughing until you can get it. Yeah, that was 11 years old, and my daughter brought it to my attention. She was like, wow, you made that video 11 years ago, and it's still relevant today. And that's the difference, is everything that I do, you can still use from years and years and years ago. She was watching a video from 7 years ago for that industrial strength sewing machine. And yeah, they had changed that thing a lot of times over, but they still sending the QR code for that old ass video. So what did you learn today for the people that are here? And then we will go. Thank you for typing ... Tracy. Now I got these notebooks from Target, and this one is really tricky. Right? Yeah, pen gear. That's what happened. Why they do that? Dang on manufacturing defect. That's why they were on sale. I learned that negative bites are holding me back and I miss out on new. It's bias, Tracy, BIAS. So negative biased. You said door number 1 was easier and everything you do has a purpose. Oh my goodness. I got a refresher on everything we learned this week. And I am going to start doing that NOLA because I realize I do cover a lot of information in the time. And just to review it, the research says that you need to hear something 3 times for you even start really paying attention to it and using it. So I will start inculcating reviews intermittently throughout the week just to make sure that it's sticking to what we're saying. So you can thank the limbic system information for this review today, because again, y'all would have been like, what in the hell is she talking about? And I am watering it down, or making it palatable as possible, digestible as I possibly can, because it is highbrow to say the least, for no reason. I know how to say complicated things because math is my strong suit, and bring it down to the smallest common denominator, but people can't. You do need to get a Dr. Donna notebook. Yeah, it's gonna be, just go. They got them on sale at Target right now. I just use the single subject notebooks. Okay. Sofini Alui. Why don't you make normal YouTube videos about a certain subject? I would watch them, and a lot of people too. I haven't asked the audience in a minute this question, and I sent Kevin a message and said I review the, sometimes I ask the group. So should I answer Sophine if they're still here? Or, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna answer them. Sophine, Louis, you are new here, sweetie pie. And so I have 10,600 YouTube videos and 129 playlists that are topic based. So that's number 1. That's number 1 through 10,600. Okay. That's number 1. YouTube channel has been here since August of 2013, going on 12 years on YouTube. So if I didn't mention it, I have 10,600 YouTube videos and 129 playlists that are topic based. So next time, before you offer a suggestion, you should do your research on someone. And then to say normal, fuck normal. And twice on Tuesday. Okay? The fuck would I be doing some normal shit for? Normal. The unmitigated gall to slide through here and say normal. If you want to be regular, this ain't it for you, boo-boo. Regular? I'm going to do some normal shit? You know how much normalcy exists in this world? You sat on this live and that's what you extrapolated from the information that I presented to you today. That's what you did. Normal. The fuck? Normal. You want to be normal? You woke up this morning and decided to choose normal on a day you never gonna see again. Normal, regular, and average. And then to insinuate that I need to do something that I've been doing for 11 years, 12 years, soon to be. You have lost your ever-loving brain. You have. Won't you take your normal brain and scroll through my YouTube channel today? Maybe you might learn something that's topic based. And it won't be no regular normal shit. I don't do average. I don't do regular. You got anything else to say? And oh, by the way, if you were coming over here to pitch, because I've been getting a lot of pitches lately, stop. Again, you used all your biases and made an assumption based upon the amount of people that were on this live that I'm new to this, but I'm true to this. Don't try to fuck with me. I'll show you how I do this shit. Next time, use the principle of real leadership and ask a question instead of telling me what you think I need to do and who I need to be on fucking YouTube. Ain't nobody else like me on YouTube. Ever. I'm the only. Not another. Does the world really need another fucking normal YouTube channel? Really? Y'all ain't had enough of that yet? So does anyone else have anything else of substance to say before we get out of here? In summary, do not allow other people's biases to tell you who you are, because personal accountability, when you know who you are, people can't tell you who you ain't. That's number one. Number two, fuck people and their biases and all that it comes with, because they are wrong. Do not submit to the bias. Don't be a part of the bias. Leave the bias. Get out of here and come over here so you can do something extraordinary with whatever time you have left on earth. Because there's another regular, average, normal shit that could last us another fucking 1,000 years. Thank you, Lola. Yes. And so if I appear irritated, I'm doing that shit on purpose. The unmitigated gall to suggest some normal shit to me. Normal? I'm probably going to break out in highs behind that bullshit. Normal. Why don't you do something normal? Why don't you do something extraordinary? How about that? Get on my level. The air is better up here. Anything else before I go? Of value. I want to reiterate that. Of value. Any non-normal shit for today. And no, my amygdala is not hijacked, because I'm not yelling. And I don't have any gestures that would indicate that. I don't have an elevated heart rate. And I'm not sweating. It's more of someone attempting to try to put me in a box. Allen Iverson, practice. Y'all Google this. Okay. I like AI, so I will do that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you need to go, go ahead and go. You must be here again trying to sell me some shit. First of all, YouTube didn't even have shorts until recently. Okay, they went to this format so that they can compete with Snapchat, Reels, and TikToks. Okay, I have been doing shorts since motherfucking 2014. Okay, go back. Go back. That's number one. So this business pitch that you're attempting to try to do is going to fall on deaf ears. It didn't even have a short format until 2 years ago, when it started to realize, oh my goodness, we're losing tractions, and they weren't even called shorts initially. And now the format has gone to what used to be a short is now a 3-minute video. So anything less than 3 minutes that's in a 9:16 format is automatically put into the shorts playlist on your channel. That's what actually takes place. So before you start asking questions, do a little bit more research. Go to another conference, go to another workshop, and understand the history that is YouTube and how we came to be to where we are today. Don't come over here trying to sell no shit. Don't come talking about this is what you could do. Whatever they told you in that workshop, that shit's not going to work over here. Okay? I'm trying to give you a business lesson before you don't have access to any of my stuff. Okay? So don't type nothing else. Because if you type anything else, you're not going to be able to review anything else. You're going to need to go talk to a friend and see my shit. This is not working. This was a dumbass plan. It's a bad business pitch. Stop while you're behind. Stop. Just stop. And anybody else that needs to go, feel free to. And so my final point is this. When you do everything yourself, and the E-Myth Revisited is the best business book ever written by Michael E. Gerber. I don't have any affiliation with him. I've read the book several times. The book reviews are in my playlist. That is the best business book ever written. Read it. And when you know how every facet of your company works, and then you work yourself out of those positions and you create standing operating procedures for those positions, you know things that other people don't know. And so because I have been creating all of my content my entire time of being who I am, things like this don't bode well. When you are not the social media person, when you are not the content creator person, and you don't know how to do it, then people like Sofini can come in and tell you that there's something wrong. But the number one reason to be a salesperson is the first thing you do is you ask people questions. You ask them questions first. And then you explain how what you are offering answers those questions and solves their problems. That's step one, the number one rule to sales. Shut your mouth up after you ask questions and listen, which is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. Ask questions is also a 74 principle of real leadership, and then meet the need of the potential client or customer. But you have been taught by some motherfucker that don't know how to sell, and so you gonna identify what you perceive to be as a problem and start selling shit that I don't want and I don't need. And I'm not going to use. That's hard selling. So work on your soft sales skills. Okay? That's what you can do. So perhaps go to Business 101 first and find out about business. And then slide over to the 60-second strategies so you can understand what it means to actually be in business and actually be a productive salesperson. So you can be value added to your own business or the organization from which you are trying to sell currently this bullshit. I taught people how to start and run and scale businesses, okay? Just because I got a brain shirt on don't mean that's the only thing I know. All right, to everybody else, go off and have an amazing day. But these doggone salespeople coming from these workshops, they are irritating because they keep teaching the same shit. Same group of people come in my email, in my DM, everywhere with the same stupid ass pitch that's not going to work. No, we don't need, what the world doesn't need is another digital marketer, a notary of Republic, or any of that other set up your LLC, or any of these stupid ass business models. The market is saturated, and Dame Dash said never hustle on a crowded block. So stop and actually come and do what you came here to do in the world, and digital marketing ain't it. It's not. So learn something from these 10,600 videos instead of trying to pitch this bullshit. Okay, I will be back tomorrow. Higher power, God, and the universe willing. Same time, same place. My other t-shirt with some more information for you to use so you can take the trip, leave your limbic system, and start using your frontal lobe on the day-to-day basis. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.